I am honored to introduce Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is responsible for the only chicken soup that can be eaten by vegans. It's the chicken soup of the soul. It sold 500 million copies in more than 40 languages, including 300 million in China. Amazing. He is also the author of The Success Principles. He holds self-esteem seminars, and he is an Oprah angel. So he is going to float up here and tell us about transformation in our new Solartopian age. The Transformational Leadership Council is his. Welcome, please, the great Jack Canfield.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to sing like Jamie. I want to dance like Tim up here when he's leading the choir. I want to preach like Michael. I want to make jokes like my wife. I want to own. And here's the thing. All of that is in me. It's in you too. We have everything in us to do everything we need. And we're now being called to do a lot. When I gave birth, I didn't give birth, as Marianne said. I catched a child. But once I did it, I realized, it's not something you do. You see these newscasts where people have their babies and they put them in a dumpster behind the hospital. People write books, but they never go out and promote them because they're shy. We can't do that anymore. We have to raise this newborn. We have to be responsible for it. I was born in 1944 during World War II. And I got in touch with my purpose when I was in graduate school. And I was asked as a group of educators, I started as a high school teacher, to go back to when we decided to become a teacher. And everyone went back to 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade, Mrs. Jones inspired them, whatever. And I went back to before I was born. And I was floating through space, looking down on the planet Earth with a bunch of people I irreverently call the Golden Motorcycle Gang, because we were just a bunch of irreverent people, like Reverend Michael can be irreverent. We've done that together. And there were people that just love life. And we're having a good time. We're like on vacation. And we looked down and I saw there was a war going on. I went, oh my God, I got to go down there and help. And everyone went, come on, you're being codependent. Let them figure out their own problem. I went, no, I have to do this. And so a bunch of people chose to come down with me. And I keep running into people. And I go, oh, you're part of the Golden Motorcycle Gang. This is like a big collection of Golden Motorcycle Gang people here. And, once we're born, as I said, we have to do the work. And I made this commitment to come down and help out. And then I got down here and I went, whoa, did I really commit to that? This is not as easy as I thought. It takes some work. It takes some effort. It takes some surrendering. I saw the Sufi dancing up here. I remember being at a 10-day retreat with Pir Vilayat Khan doing ecstatic Sufi dancing, and I've done rebirthing and I've done Gestalt therapy and I worked on myself. Just like when my wife and I were going through having a baby, we went to Lamaze classes and Bradley classes and we breathed and we got used to what the stages were. So when I remember my first wife going, screw this, take me to the hospital. I said, no, honey, they said you were going to say that. We're going to stay here and keep breathing. But if we hadn't known that, we might have jumped in the car and gone. And so it's going to be hard sometimes. And it's hard raising children, knowing when to be firm, when to love. It's an art. It's not a science. We're all being called now to step forward. I was leading a workshop in Hawaii with a man named Genpo Roshi, a Zen master, and 4-day workshop. And on day 2, he said to the group, I'm going to save you about 20 years of meditation. I'm going to tell you the secret of Zen. Y'all want to know? He said, it's real simple. It's called be yourself. Just be yourself. Be all of you right now, whatever shows up. The divinity, the irreverence, the fun, the dancing, the curiosity, the confusion, be it all. And when we're that, we show up as the gift. Barbara talks a lot about conscious evolution, and we're all coming forward to contribute ourselves because in us is a piece of the solution. And if we'll just have the courage to step forward and be that. I love what Marianne Williamson said. It is a challenge. It's not over yet. The birth isn't easy, but then neither is raising the child. And I remember in the movie Parenthood, someone said, well, when do you finish being a parent? said, well, when you die or the kids die, that's it, you know, never ends. And so we have this opportunity to step forward and be all of ourselves. And, you know, I wear a suit. You don't see too many suits up here today. But I've been in the Pentagon. I've worked with governments. I've worked with oil companies. I've worked with Fortune 500 companies. I go into boardrooms and I work with people to open up their hearts and their consciousness. But I want to look like them, so when I walk in, they don't think I'm the enemy. I call myself a plainclothes consciousness commando. But here's the thing. It's harder than you think to learn to listen long enough so that they'll shut up and listen to you. It's hard to learn how to communicate in a way from love, because when you're angry, you create more fear. And the only thing that's stopping us from having everything we want is fear. Fear of separation, fear of losing our job, fear of being killed, being annihilated, losing our connection with God, whatever it might be. And so if we'll step through the fear and also do the work that's required to develop the skill sets that are required, because there are skill sets that are useful, but done in a consciousness of love. So it's that two-sided thing of the two sides of the coin that are important. I'll end with a chicken soup story. It's funny, we talked about chicken soup you could eat. When I go to India, they go, we do not eat the chickens. Chickens, we are vegetarian. Why don't you do lentil soup for the soul? You know. So one chicken soup story that I think is appropriate for today. There was a reverend named Reverend Jim, and he got a call from one of his parishioners named Aunt Hattie, and she said, would you come over to my house today? I've been to the hospital. I've been diagnosed with a terminal cancer. They've given me 6 weeks to live. I'd like you to come over and help me plan my funeral. He said, well, Aunt Hattie, we can do a prayer vigil. We'll help. She said, no. I've lived a long life. She was in her late 80s. She said, I just want to plan my funeral with you because I don't think my kids will do it right. So he goes over, and she says, I want to be buried in this dress. I want this person to do my hair because I don't trust the funeral parlor to do it right. I want this person to do my makeup. And then she said, I want this psalm read. I want this hymn sung. I want this prayer on a poem on a card given to people with my picture as a memory card. Then she said, I want to be buried with a Bible in my left hand, family Bible, and a fork in my right hand. And he said, well, I understand the Bible. You're very religious, but why the fork? And she said, you know, whenever we have those church socials down in the basement and they have food and they're coming by to clear the plates afterwards, whenever there's going to be a really good dessert, like chocolate cake or apple pie or cherry cobbler or upside down pineapple cake, not like Jell-O or pudding, they always say, keep your fork. And so when they come by, they're going to look in, they're going to go, Reverend Jim, why the fork? You just look him right in the eye and you say, Aunt Hattie knew the best was still yet to come. And for all of us, if we have the courage to be ourselves, to step forward and bring our piece of the puzzle into the being, the best is yet to come. God bless you. I love you all. Thank you.
All right, let's give it up for Jack Canfield. Inspired so many souls for so many years. And now we have another special guest MC. His name is Raphael Sabarge, and he's a producer of On Begley Street, one of the pioneering sustainability shows, and you probably are more likely to know him from the ABC hit show. No, just space the name again. There's okay, I forgot the name again. So we're just bringing him on. Raphael Sabarge, come on up. Once upon a time.
Hello. It's great to be here. It's Once Upon a Time is the name of the show. So I'm here really to introduce someone we're very proud to have, author of Motivating the Masses, Chicken Soup for the African American Soul, as well as The Secret, and someone who's really committed to supporting you and doing things that you've never done before or have never even dreamed of. It's a great privilege and an honor to be able to introduce Lisa Nichols. Yes, there you go. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. I am back home again. It's always so wonderful to be here and to be with you. And on this day, you know, yesterday I was on Good Morning LA and they said, what do you think about the end I was like, well, let's just talk about the beginning. How about that? Did you plan what you would do the day after? Just in case. Just in case, did you plan what you're going to do? So I'm excited to be here to talk about possibility, to be in the space of some of the most great minds, people who I've learned from, to stand here and add a little spice to it, as you know I'm going to do. You know, as we talk about, and I love what Marion said, we talked about, you know, the possibility, but then we look at the practical. So I just want to say, since you're already going to be here, since we're not gone, right? Since you're already going to be here, we might as well do something, right? We might as well be better than we've ever been before, right? We might as well. You've heard me say, if you've heard me speak before and here, I call this my home. You've heard me say yes, yes, but I've never told you why. See, the first yes, and I had to begin to say yes twice, because the first yes was to me, but the second yes was to God. Because my yes to what I was going to do was always small. I said, I want to motivate LA. The second yes was to God by saying, and whatever you have me do, I'll get out of the way. So yes, yes isn't just a cliche. It's something that I constantly say to remind myself, I'm going to say yes to that I don't know. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you feel your yes, yes, then you say your yes, yes. Since we're already going to be here, you know you didn't go anywhere. Since we're already going to be here, are you willing to be unapologetic about your greatness? Yes, yes? Since you're already going to be here, are you willing to be unstoppable? Since you're already here, you're here already. Since you're already going to be here, are you willing to be untamed at times? See, we have a tendency to ask for permission. Can I be great? Can I be brilliant? Can I be beautiful? Can I be brilliant and beautiful? Can I be? We ask the world for permission when I think in this new birth, in this new season, why don't we give the world notice? Yes, yes? I just need to put you on notice that since I'm already here, because we already here, I'm going to spend some time in my fabulosity. I don't know. Yes, yes? See, I tried out doubt. I tried out worry. I tried out fear, as my brother Jack said. I tried out being more consumed with your perception of me than I was of my commitment to myself. I tried all that out. But since I'm still here, you know, we're still here, I'm going to try out letting my genius out. I'm going to try that out. I'm going to try not shrinking when I walk in a room so other people can't handle my greatness. Yes, yes? I'm just going to walk in the room and just assume you can handle my light. Yes, yes? I mean, since we're already here, you're here still. So why don't we go this next round not shrinking for anyone, anything, and any thought? Why don't we say yes, yes to God? Why don't we say yes, yes to our greatness? So if you're committed to being something you've never seen before, say yes, yes. Yes. Doing something you've never done before, say yes, yes. Yes. Looking a way that you've never looked before at the world. Yes. Singing like you've never sung before. Yes. Dancing like you've never danced before. Yes. Loving like you've never loved before. Yes. I mean, you already here. Since you're here, why don't you be radical? Why don't you see what does it feel like to move from comfort, complacency to radical? Well, what does it feel like? What does it feel like to say, I'm going to act as if today is that day. I'm going to live as if tonight is that night. I'm not waiting to let my champion out. I'm going to let it out today. And if I should get tomorrow, just in case, since I'm here, I'll do it again tomorrow. I just stopped by as your sis. I just stopped by as your sis to shake you up a bit, to let mediocrity be mildly to significantly uncomfortable for you in any form. I just stopped by. I stopped by to say, we've been waiting on you to show us how to be unapologetic about your champion, and that when you do it, you give me permission to do the same. And so I need you to no longer play small. There's a reason why you're in this room, a chosen few, because you got the message directly. So since you're here, you might as well Since you're here, you might as well. My grandmother says, she's 83 years old. My grandmother says, baby, when you get my age, you're supposed to sit in your favorite rocking chair and tell the story of your life. But when you're your age, you're supposed to make sure the story is going to be good to tell. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. Yes, yes. So I close with this. And you've heard me say it before, some of my friends. The next time you walk in a room, don't you dare dim your light. Don't you dare shrink so those around you won't feel a little uncomfortable with your presence. Don't you dare modify who the Creator has made you to be. Don't you dare turn your wattage down from 159 to 79 so people can handle you. When you walk into the room, you keep your wattage up. You turn it up higher. And if they cannot handle your light, don't dim your light. Hand them some shades. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
They love you too. Yeah, baby. Wow. How was that, huh? Inspirational? Motivational? Hi, my name's Isai Morales. I was up here a little bit earlier, but just glad I didn't follow that act. My gosh. How you feeling today? You feel like a brand new world is emerging? You feel like finally the human race can get it together? You know what it is, right? I just, I'm going to take a few seconds while an incredible array of musicianship gets together. And this whole day reminded me of a great quote that I read in a book. When I was 18 years old, I read this book profoundly, and it moved me. And one of great illustrations of human philosophy was the high mission of any art, not the only, but the high mission of any art is, by its illusions, to foreshadow a higher universe reality, to crystallize the emotions of time into the thought of eternity. How's that for a little ditty, huh? You know, that's the thing. Knowledge can only be had through sharing. And that's why I want to really, again, give my thanks to the folks who've made this together, made this come together. Because this is what it's about, a shared experience, shared love, shared intent. And we can make a better world. I remember as a kid, I grew up in an era called the 60s and the 70s. Some of you may remember. But I remember as a kid in school listening to stories, songs like "We Can Build a Beautiful City," songs about the future. And I thought to myself then, boy, I can't wait till I get to high school or college, because at that point, people will be much more evolved. Okay, I didn't fool you guys. No, but it's a sad thing to say that you imagine as a young child that, the BS will be over finally, that what's inside of you will finally be appreciated by every and all. And yet, I feel like our evolution has been hampered, has been stymied. The purveyors of fear are really running the airwaves nowadays. And that's how they keep us under control. That's how they keep us insecure. But this is an antidote to that. This is an antidote. These speakers, these people who are channels of the divine, are here to make sure that we're not alone, we're not going crazy, and we're not going anywhere bad. We're going everywhere good. So thank you for keeping that spirit alive. Now, I don't know if my friends are exactly ready yet. I'm going to give them a few more seconds. But how about... I ever tell you about...
When I was 5 years old.
Yeah. A man walks into a bar. Okay. Another great quote. No, honestly, John Lennon, to me, is a person who lived a life that was very, very inspired. John Lennon
I considered my musical or my spiritual father when I grew up without my own father around. The Beatles. You know, I had a cassette of the Beatles when I was 13 years old. I ran away from home. My only possession was the Beatles 62, 66, 66, 67, 70. They helped raise me. You know, after that I would sing along to songs like Bohemian Rhapsody from Queen, Freddie Mercury, most incredible singer. And I remember a song toward the end of our lovely John Lennon's career that he sang for his little boy. And as a new parent, that song came back and hit me so hard because at first I loved this song as a little boy that wished he had a father who felt this way about him. It was called Beautiful Boy. Do you guys know that song? And there's a great quote that informs me to this day. And he says, "Before you cross the street, take my hand. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans." So we can plan everything you want, but you got to keep a little open for the inspirational, the divine, the, how did we say, the impromptu. I met these guys that are about to perform, a couple of years ago. They have been together for 18 glorious years. This band, this group of incredible musicians have been mixing their love of music and creating, how should I say, hybrid sounds and fusion. In 48 countries they've traveled. They've garnered 3 Grammys, I believe. And I just like them. They are LA, they're fully native, yet the world, the music represents the entire world. These guys, whether they're ready or not, are called Ozomatli! Let's hear it!
We're very honored to be here. We thank you all for your presence. And we're just going to bring a little neighborhood sound.